Well, federal government funding is set to expire next week. Joining me now is Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan. Margaret, is Congress any closer to passing legislation to avoid a government shutdown? Here we are again.
Here we are again. And right now there's contingency planning being made for what will happen October 1st, which is when funding will run out and we could see a government shutdown at the beginning of that next month. So, for example, one of the guests we have Sunday, Representative Tony Gonzalez, he represents a lot of border agents in his district in Texas. They are seeing a tick up in migrant crossings right now, but they may have to show up to work and not get paid for the job they're doing. There are members of the military who will have to show up and not get paid to do what they are doing. So there are some real world implications for this political standoff in Washington, which right now is really about a fight within the Republican Party about whether to follow the lead of the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, and do a short-term funding bill to keep the lights on while they debate some broader budget issues, or whether to just go ahead and have a shutdown while this fight really escalates. Now, Senator Mark Kelly, a Democrat from the state of Arizona, is going to talk to us about why on the Senate side they do have ability to work with a plan that they think could adequately fund the government, but they have to work across the aisle with the House and across the chamber with the House. So it's really going to come back to the House of Representatives and whether Kevin McCarthy can lead his party. We're going to talk about it this weekend.
All right. It certainly is frustrating for everyday people to see, this game of chicken that, again, we've seen time and time again. Meantime, yes. International implications. A lot of news this week from Ukrainian President Zelensky's visit here to the U.S. and President Biden announcing a new military aid package. So how could that be affected by a potential government shutdown?
Well, the current aid to Ukraine will continue, and the Secretary of Defense has made plans for the training of Ukrainian forces to continue by U.S. troops. That happens outside of Ukraine. So that portion will continue. But when it comes to future Ukrainian aid, that's part of this very messy debate in the Capitol right now. President Biden has come in and asked Congress for another $24 billion in support for Ukraine for a variety of purposes, for weapons, for other programs. And Congress hasn't approved it. In the House, it is more conservative members of the Republican caucus who are more populist and raising objections. And so ultimately, does this get through? I spoke to the First Lady of Ukraine last night. We'll bring you that interview on Sunday. And she said she believes it will. And she has thanked the American people for their generosity and explains, I think, in some pretty stark terms, what's at stake in her country. She shared the mental health concerns, also children who are being kidnapped by Russia in the thousands, and her country's fight to bring them back. She argues it is a genocide underway. So it really does draw a contrast with the political fight here over whether it is worth it or not. She will make the case it is.
All right. Hearing from a mom dealing with it all. Thank you so much for that, Margaret. Looking forward to that interview and all of the debate Sunday morning. Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan. You can watch that on KPIX.